Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday night. It's Camille Prosperity out of Savannah, Georgia. As you come in, regardless of whether you are a live or a replay viewer, do me a favor, please. Show me, tell me, drop in the comments down below where you are watching from. I always love to see how much reach do I still have. Who am I talking to from my little tiny country hometown of Savannah, Georgia? So if you could do me that favor, I would really appreciate it. I want to get to know you just as much as you want to get to know me. So listen, let's get into it. I'm gonna try not to hold y'all too long because I actually have quite a few things I want to talk about. So I'm hoping to do multiple videos tonight. But I titled this entitled and unprepared kids. This is a very hot topic, especially in on social media. I see a lot of people talking about these kids. Okay, I just restarted my computer so I could have a fresh broadcast, and I'm sorry, but 15 million apps are opening up, y'all. So let me see something right quick to make sure that I am still on. Let me go to my let me see here. Okay, it looks like, okay, I have me in my ear. Okay, the delay is not that bad. Cool. So yeah, as you guys come in, tell me where you are watching from, city and state, drop your district, say your what was it? What did I used to say? Circuit. Say your circuit, drop your district if you know that. If you are a regular viewer of this channel, you know exactly what I mean. So listen, I really wanted to talk to y'all because I can't believe we, and I am in my 40s, y'all. So I will say we, meaning my generation. Oh my gosh, I hope y'all can't hear that. Okay. So my generation, I can't believe we have turned into my mom's generation. I remember being younger and thinking every single time an quote unquote older person, now I know they weren't that old, but every time a quote unquote older person would say something like these kids, I would say, oh my gosh, they are so antiquated. We're not doing nothing. And I didn't see what the big deal is. And now I'm the one, people in my era are the ones saying these kids. And one of the most common things that I hear is that they're saying that these kids are entitled and unprepared to enter the world. And guys, when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, I used to work in the DeKalb County education system. And I have to tell you, that was a real eye opener for me because I never saw so much disrespect. And I wasn't raised to disrespect my elders, even if they were just a few years older than me. So seeing kids who cursed in front of adults or cursed at adults and had their exposing their body parts and just not caring, that was just woo, it was a lot to take in. But when I met the parents, it all made sense. I remember being younger and people saying, your mom looks good for her age. But it was nothing like nowadays where mothers are competing with daughters to the point where it is going to the mothers' heads and fathers, it's going to the father's head. Oh, your daddy look like your brother. Oh, your mama look like your sister. And I think that has led to a lot of parents sharing clothes, sharing experiences. We club together. I don't want to club with my mama. I have never wanted to club with my mama. And my mom had me relatively young, but and at some point, yeah, we could have, but we would not have. So when I hear a lot of adults talking about these entitled kids, who made them that way? Oftentimes, when their own kids, which is completely confusing. But then again, it's not, because I have to be very open and honest with y'all. I have definitely made some mistakes in my parenting, and I have seen that recently. And I really want to talk to you guys because I gotta tell you guys, and the majority of people who watch my channel are Black. It's not for Black people only, but I am a Black person and I talk about issues surrounding my community. So with my community in particular, we come, a lot of us, from a place of lack. So now that most of us have things that our parents didn't have, and we feel like we've quote unquote made it, even if we haven't, if we just have the appearance of making it, a lot of times what we want to do is put our children on early, but we're putting them on early with the wrong things, with material things. Instead of giving them the knowledge, instead of giving them the fortitude, these kids out here living a soft life, and now we're complaining about it. And I understand, because there are a lot of parents that are not together, and it is extremely hard when you are a single parent, regardless of whether you're a single father or a single mother, to keep your eye on that child all the time. Oftentimes you're working, the child is at home by themselves. So who is watching them? You know who's watching them? YouTube, TikTok, social media. But I am here tonight, y'all, whether you listen to me live, and if you're listening to me live, I want to know your thoughts on this. But if you're listening to me live or a replay viewer, I want us to have this conversation. I want us to start having more meaningful conversations instead of just things that entertain us. But I want to know from you, what do you think the problem is? And I'm going to tell you how I learned where I was in the wrong with my own child. Because I only got a few years before he is deemed legally an adult, right? Before he graduates high school. And I don't want him looking at me like, Mama, what do? Clueless. Just a brain full of mush, because all he's been doing is watching comedians on YouTube or anime or I don't want that. So this last few months, I've really been taking a long, hard look at myself and saying, okay, Kim, don't feel guilt about the divorce to where you don't want to give him no chores or you don't want to tell him nothing to do. Don't feel guilt about your situation. No, there's plenty of kids in this situation. What can you do to equip him in this new environment, in this new economy that we are in? And I'm going to tell you guys, my son is more of a creative. He likes anime. He likes drawing. He likes Legos. He likes building. He likes those types of things. He wants to be an inventor. Who I was like, what? You want to be an inventor? What kid talks about that nowadays? But I'm happy he said inventor versus influencer. But he's a creative. So when I see that he's drawing anime figures, or he's on the drawing app, or he's watching pranksters on YouTube, he had started getting into watching these kids that's already rich, right? Y'all know who I'm talking about. These kids who are already rich, they renting mansions and having, hey guys, we're going to see if we're going to create the world's largest bubble bath in the downstairs of this mansion. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no, baby boy. Oh no. Oh no, baby boy. You will not be clicking and viewing and making somebody else rich, and you ain't putting nothing in your head. The ancestors didn't pay the price for this to go on. So now let me pull up. Oh, good. Lynn F. Thank you, Lynn, for participating in the conversation. It means so much. She said, that sounds just like my 7-year-old. I'm happy you're here, Lynn, because I was watching Bell Collective, and like the girl and her mom met at the pizzeria place, and the son was itching for the phone to play Roblox. And she was trying to talk to her son, and she told him, hey, son, let's have a discussion. And she's like, I know you want to play Roblox, but you and I talk a little bit without the phone, and then you can go over there and play Roblox. And I'm just thinking to myself, how did this happen? Y'all, my son was so addicted to Roblox at one point. And I'm telling y'all this because we done made it through the valley, haven't we, son? Yeah, but my son was so addicted to Roblox at one point. I remember he stole my credit card, and I say that loosely. I was asleep. He knew where the credit card was, and he went and got my credit card not once but twice, over $100 in repair. No, you want to confess? No, actually, you did it. What? You want to say something? We fall we fall down, but we get up, right, son? We made it through that. Lynn said, oh damn. I know, right? Imagine this. You like working really hard. Other people ain't helping who's supposed to help. You already behind, and your child take your credit card for some video games. Boy, when I say my son I have been through it, baby. Uh-oh, hold on. Okay, I thought my StreamYard froze. But yeah, so my son was so addicted, and when that happened, I told him no video games. No video games. And he and I went on an endeavor to watch YouTube documentaries about what video games do to you, how they program video games to release this dopamine that literally gets your kids addicted as if they were really on drugs. So when your child says, I don't know why I stole your credit card, you got to watch this stuff on YouTube, these documentaries, so that you understand what they're doing to our children. Because you talking to them, you fussing at them, you pushing them, So I don't want this conversation to go too long, but it's a conversation that should definitely be had. And I will tell you guys right now, what I am trying to do, if you were a smoker, people would be like, hey, get this new chewing gum, and it's going to give you the what is a supplement? What is a substitution that we can have for our children, right? To give them that same hit. And I will tell y'all right now, for me, I know, like with the video games, I do not want my son playing video games at all. Now, I can't get him to I have no control of what he does with his father, but hopefully I'm thinking by showing him the documentaries of how this messes your mind up, and it's going to create, I tell him constantly, son, if you do this, it's going to create a dynamic between us where we are not going to be able to peacefully coexist. You're going to hate me, and I'm going to be like at your throat. Is that how you want to live? Because there's going to come a point, as you see in this documentary, where you have no control whatsoever, and it will be the point of no return. And so all I'm trying to do is communicate to my child how they are creating these things to make you dumb on purpose, so that they can control you and create division in the home. And he's pretty much been receptive to that, but that's because we talk all the time. So I encourage you, parents, regardless of whether you're a single parent or together with your spouse, cut off the radio in the car. If that's the only time you can get to talk, use that time. Cut off the radio in the car. Put your phone down. I used to talk on the phone to clients, to business partners all the time. And I have to admit, it was my mom who said, put your phone down, Kim. Put your phone down, Kim. That is time for you and him. That is precious time for y'all to bond. And I'm glad I listened to my mom. Reluctantly, admittedly, but she was right. The phone has become our precious talking time. Lynn said, wow, I can imagine they are detrimental to social development, but I'm guilty of allowing him to play games sometimes so I can get things done. Lynn, I know, as a single parent myself, and even when I was married, if his dad wasn't home at the time, it was so easy to pacify them with the tablet, so easy to pacify them with the phone. But y'all, please do studies on why the rich and the wealthy and the other communities, people who create these things, they don't let their children play with it. If you don't believe me, look it up. And I'm telling you right now, we have got to carve out time to help our children. So here's what I have started to do with my son. You like video games, son? Cool. Let's get you into a brokerage simulated account. Y'all, what is it? Think or Swim, the brokerage account that's owned by E-Trade, I think it is. Also Rapunzel, a lot of these free simulated brokerage accounts that teach your kids, in a dummy account, how to trade on Wall Street. Guess what? They look like video games. So because I'm a trade and travel student, when I got TradeStation, and then I looked at the brokerage account, the app, and it said the stocks that I were doing well in were green, and the stocks that I were doing bad in were red. That's very easy to understand. So as I was learning, I was telling my son, and my son would come home from school some days and be like, how's that Apple stock doing? I didn't have money to buy Apple with real money, but I bought it with my simulated money. And we started to change that conversation. And guess what? He was still getting a dopamine hit. But now we're having different discussions, and he's seeing, oh, this stock is doing well. Hey, mama, this one's not doing so well. What you want to do? You want to sell it? You want to what? Likewise, with my son being creative and wanting to draw. Okay, it's cool. You want to draw Japanese anime, but are you selling it? What are you doing with it? So I know there's an app that I use called Canva. That's how I do my YouTube thumbnails. That's how I do a lot of the banners where I make announcements. And this is a very, very popular app that a lot of graphic artists use, that a lot of companies are using now. And it has a free account. So I said, okay, son, you like to design stuff. You're creative. I got my son a free account on Canva. And I told him, when you see it, yes, Lynn. Lynn said Canva is the bomb. So Lynn, let me tell you something. You got a 7-year-old. You gonna put your 7-year-old son on game? I don't know if it's a son or a daughter, my bad. But you're gonna put your 7-year-old on game with a free account? Because I'm telling you, I just gave my son a free account and I said, son, anything you want to know how to do in this app, look it up on YouTube. The same YouTube you go to watch other kids who already got money play pranks on their parents. Yeah, that YouTube, look up how to do certain stuff in Canva. And I have to give it to my son. He has taken the charge and done that. He created a group. He created 3 other dummy accounts and he put himself in there 3 times. Randomly, I'll just get an email and it'll say, he created this banner or he'll created this flyer and he'll say, look, mom, I took your website and I put it in that TV and I put that. And I'm like, well, dang, look at you getting better. Do y'all know Canva is actually a skill that you can list on a resume? A lot of people nowadays, when they go to apply to certain jobs and those jobs want to know if they're up to task on what's going on and what's current, they list, hey, I'm proficient in Canva. So why not get our children involved in it? He's doing things in Canva that I don't even know. I didn't even know how to create a group, a collaborative group. And he has done that. So Lynn said, yes, we have a joint one. And he helped me design a shirt for Juneteenth. Come on, Lynn's 7-year-old. Come on, Lynn's 7-year-old. And get him doing other things, Lynn. Get him in a simulated account. These kids know so much more than we're giving them credit for. But, there's nothing wrong with them using these devices. But we have got to control how they use it. Let them get the dopamine hit from something that's educational versus entertainment only, right? Likewise, ChatGPT. I was talking with my son last night and I found out he's scared of AI. Well, I heard it's bad and they're going to take over and da-da-da. And I had to tell my son, listen, it is going to be bad for people that are scared of it. It's going to be good for people who realize it is here, it ain't going nowhere, and they're going to position themselves to learn how to use it to their benefit. And while we were at my grandmother's house last night, I had to pull up ChatGPT on my computer and say, we're going to overcome this fear right now. You're going to experiment with ChatGPT right now. And he got in there. Do y'all realize that there are some people right now that are so early on the curve? They are actually selling courses and teaching people how to do correct ChatGPT prompts so that you get the information that you want. So last night, my son got into ChatGPT and he saw, oh, it's not that bad. And it is not that bad. It's a little bit different than, I know y'all like, I can just Google it. But I strongly encourage you, guys. I remember 23 years ago, okay, when it was 1999, I was 21 years at the time, y'all. But when it was 1999, the ball was about to drop for it to be the year 2000. Man, Y2K, who remember Y2K? Drop down in the comments and tell me if you remember the pandemonium that was Y2K. Here I am, 21 years old, and that night I told my mama extra hard, I love you, mama, because I thought I wasn't gonna wake up. I thought the world was going to end. Remember, we were told like computers were going to explode. We were like, Prince knew what he was doing when he wrote the song, Tonight We Gonna Party Like It's 1999. He knew that would be the last year we would live. And it was all types of things being said and done. It was a crazy, crazy world. But did we die? No, we still here. But you couldn't tell me December 31st, 1999. I was like, I'm never going to see my children. And here I am looking at my son right now. He fine. I'm fine. Everybody fine. I woke up the next day thinking like, am I in heaven? Am I an angel? Sat up in the bed expecting some big old wings to fly out. I'm just messing with y'all. But you know what I'm saying? It was all this panic. And the same, and likewise, there were people who were refusing to use computer. I ain't using computers. They pen and paper work just fine. They can't make me. Guess what? Nowadays, even if you're an assembly line technician, which is most people would describe as very manual labor, you still got to plug that stuff into a computer. You still have to interface with the computer. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. The world is moving much too fast. So what we should do, don't let your children just go up in the bedroom with their devices. Don't let them just sit at the dinner table with their devices. Start putting some restrictions on there. For every 1 hour entertainment, you got to have 2 hours of education. Find comparable apps or programs so that they can learn, that stimulate them the way they like to be stimulated. I was telling my son also, there's a gentleman, his name is Steve Larson. He was dead broke with a wife and kid and wanted to borrow money from his dad, and his dad said no. You know what Steve Larson did? He got ClickFunnels trial. ClickFunnels will give you a 30-day trial. He kept creating new emails and getting different ClickFunnels. Every 30 days, he would get another trial until he mastered ClickFunnels. Then he went in the group, the ClickFunnels support group, and he would answer questions that people were asking. How do I do this? How do I do my lead capture page? How do I link this to my merchant account, to my payment processor? He would ask questions on behalf of the ClickFunnels team. So guess what? People in the group thought that he worked for ClickFunnels. And then people who actually worked for ClickFunnels were like, who is this guy and where did he come from? Do y'all know that when ClickFunnels had their conference, Steve Larson was so broke, he rode a bike to that conference and threw it in the bushes, hoping nobody would steal his bike. When he got to the conference, everybody knew him because they had been seeing him in the Facebook group. This man wore the 30-day free trials out because he didn't have no money. And everybody at that conference knew him. It just so happened that ClickFunnels had an opening for a master funnel designer, and they interviewed him, but it was just a technicality because they already knew they wanted him because he had already studied and showed himself approved. I'm gonna tell y'all something. These kids, y'all saying these kids so entitled and they not ready. It's because we have not prepared them. And when I say prepare them, they shouldn't have to do the same thing that you did. My first job was working at the movie theater. Why should my son go work at the movie theater? He don't have to. If he does right now, in a year or two, he could be an expert ClickFunnels designer. He could be doing go high level websites for people. It's up to him. But I've got to plant that seed in him and let him know the possibilities. He could be selling his skills on Fiverr. He could be in the gig economy. He could be making big bucks from the comfort of his own home before he ever leaves the home. But I got to plant that seed in him. If I just give him technology, a device, and leave him to his wiles, heck yeah, he going to sit up there and watch rich white kids destroy mansions for a click and view. Heck yeah, he going to sit up here and watch Japanese anime all day. Heck yeah, he going to watch the, what is it, Yoruba comedy series over and over again, just laughing all day while I'm working. And if I allow him to continue to do that, guess whose fault it is? Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. And I haven't outfitted him. I haven't prepared him to deal with this new economy we're living in. And I want to challenge y'all to not only do this with your kids, but do it with other people's kids. We got to get back to being a community. We got to get back to being a village. A few months ago, I'm sure many of you went to graduations or knew a graduate and you gave them money. Let me ask you, did you just give them the money? Or did you say, hey, did you play let's make a deal with them? Did you say, hey, I can give you $100 cash right now, or I can put $500 in a brokerage account for you and show you how to make that money have money babies? Have any of you who have come up, who have done so well for yourself, especially those of you without kids, have any of you gone to your friends who have kids and said, hey, once a month, once a quarter, hell, once a year, I'm going to do a Zoom and show the children, the youth, how I got to where I am. This is my specialty. I'm going to show them something about credit, something about investing, something about anything like that. We have all of these tools at our disposal. Zoom has a free account. You don't even have to pay for it. But these graduates that just came out of high school are entering the real world. They're about to crap their pants right now because this is a time of year where they're used to going back to school and ain't no school. unless they're going to college. And even if they're going to college, it's a whole nother ball game right now. Have you done anything for those graduates to say, hey, here's how you can not make the mistakes that I made? Or do we really just have a group of kids every single year, every single decade, every single generation? Every single generation should not start from square one. I want my son to start where I left off, not where I started. That would be stupid. And I'm seeing a lot of parents, I'm seeing a lot of grown folks who kind of revel in that. They need to get themselves up by their bootstraps type of mentality. And it's a very, very crab in a barrel way of thinking that I just don't like. Don't talk about these kids without looking at the man in the mirror. Don't talk about these kids unless you're doing something to help these kids. Don't talk about these kids, especially if you ain't got no kids and you ain't helping the friends of yours who do have kids. It is very, very simple. Again, to take a child by the hand and say, hey, do you know about ChatGPT? Let's look into it. Let's get you started. Here, let's dispel the myths. Let's outfit them let's do it with them. We all know that it is better to do something with a friend. Social proof is very, very real. There are tons of people who won't do nothing until you get them started with the very first step. The very first step is the hardest to take. But y'all, we got to stop talking about these kids, because the only problem with these kids is these adults. These adults in their lives that are not taking ownership of how great of a responsibility it is to mold a child, to put them on the right path, to invest time with them, to make time, even at the detriment of sleep, even at the detriment of you getting off the phone with your man or your woman, even at the detriment of you not watching that Netflix show. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time, but the quality of the time is so crucial. It's so key. Don't let them just have that phone with their head hanging down all the time. And yes, they're going to buck you at first because they're so used to doing it. You're going to have to break them like a horse. I had to break my son, but it was worth it for the level of communication that we have right now. And is he receptive to everything that I proposed initially? Absolutely not. But he knows where I'm coming from because I've invested the time up to this point to let him know I don't mean anything for you but good. I want you to have a good life. I want you to do it the smart way. I want you to do it with the least amount of effort, but the maximum output. And I'm going to show you how, because I made enough mistakes, son, that you shouldn't have to repeat my dang on mistakes. I got a cousin who just graduated high school. I'm going to be reaching out to her to say, hey, listen, I know a lot about credit. I am here for you. I'm going to have a Zoom for her because I got a cousin who just graduated, a little cousin who just graduated high school, a niece who's going to be graduating next year. I have a little sister. Yes, I have a little sister who just graduated high school. I'm going to put all of them in a Zoom room together. And even if they never show up, I'm going to make myself available to show up. And then one day, until the day that they do show up too. Because I would much rather show up ahead of time and tell them about how I messed up my credit fresh out of high school and paid for it for decades. Well, for years, almost a decade. I would much rather do that and give them a heads up of what, and you have to what? Dig your well before you're thirsty. You have to dig your well before you're thirsty. You cannot tell these kids, I'm here if you need me, when you ain't never been there. You got to be there first, and then they will feel confident to confide in you. You have to plant seeds in them first, spend time with them first, and then they will talk to you. It's just like YouTube. A lot of y'all don't buy my mentorship, maybe because you're a first-time viewer. But those of you who have been following me for years and have seen my journey, some of you have been following me since I was married. Since my big boy was a little boy, and you've seen me put the work in. So it was no problem for you to put down money for the mentorship because you knew what the return on the investment was. And you know I don't come to play. And you knew that you were already paying for the mentorship with your ignorance, quite frankly. So you were like, let me get this knowledge so I can stop making these mistakes, because I've seen Kim invest in Him 500 mentorship, invest in Bureau Bullies, invest in Remedy Takeover, invest in all of these things. So if I pay Kim this few $100s. She's already invested thousands to get the knowledge. Oh, I'm saving money. I'm saving money because I'm not spending as much as she spent, and I still have access to her. And I'm going to go forward bigger and better in life, having known the information that she's going to transfer to me. But I had to put that time in first. I can't just show up on the internet one day like, hey, y'all, I got a credit mentorship. Now, I know some people do that, but that ain't me. That ain't this chick. And you got to do the same thing with your children. You got to put in time, even if they say nothing to you. Do you know how many times I asked my son, how are things going in school? And he said, fine, until one day I got some details and it blew me away, y'all. I said, what y'all talking about? What? Where was the teacher? Where was this? What was that? And he's now talking to me because I had to keep asking him over and over again, how was school? And when he says fine, and that's all I get, I couldn't then turn on the radio. I couldn't then get on the phone like, well, he ain't saying nothing. You know why? Because it might come to him in a few minutes. You know how you walk into a store and they say, hey, ma'am, can I help you? And you say, no, I'm good. And then the minute they turn and walk away, you like, actually, I need some new drawers. I ain't bought some in a few years. Can you tell me where the drawers at? Right? But initially, you like, I'm good. It's the same thing with your children. They're going to tell you they're good. They're going to tell you they're fine. They're going to tell you they got nothing to talk about. But you still sit there and you shut up and you create a safe space for them to talk if they feel like talking in 10 seconds and 10 minutes. And if you do that enough times, you will find that your teenager is not standoffish. You will find that your middle school child is receptive. You do know who their kids are. When I was in education, it blew my mind how many parents were asking me things about their own kids. What? How do I know who your child's best friend is and you don't, ma'am? I'm confusion here. Where can I find the mentorship link? Thank you, Millie Jean. And actually, it's at hellocamillie.com right here. Hellocamillie.com. When you go there, you can click on courses and mentorships. And let me tell y'all something. Because I am talking about each one, teach one, I decided to do something with the mentorship for August. Because I want results. I want y'all to give me more testimonials. And I want y'all to do the thing. I don't want y'all to sit with me on Zoom and, laugh at my jokes while getting some education. Okay. And then just leave and be like, that was good information. I want you to act on the information. So I was literally talking to one of the former credit crushers today about this. And he was like, what? You going to do that? And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell y'all what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a BOGO on the mentorship. I'm going to do a BOGO on the mentorship. I've run 4 cycles of this mentorship. Each and every time it's gotten better and better. I'm going to do a BOGO on the mentorship though, because I know the importance of social proof. I know how much better you do when you do something with your best friend. Why do you think everybody going on these girls trips? Girls trip. Why? Because it's more fun when you bring another one. Right? So what I want to do now is for the mentorship. Let me see. Okay, so cool. I'm sharing this tab. When you come to hellocamillie.com, it's going to take you right here and you click on courses and mentorships. Okay. When you do that, it's going to take you right here. Now, the Credit Crushers mentorship, it is live. It is 4 weeks. Why is it live, Kim? Because when I sold it as a course, nobody bought. Because y'all all know that when y'all do stuff on your own, you don't make time for it in your schedule. So it seems to me that y'all are kind of sort of over courses. So it is a mentorship, meaning I will be on live with you. Meaning when you ask me a question, you're going to ask it. I'm going to give you the answer right then and there. Meaning after we have the presentation, there's going to be a Q&A. Meaning there's a Telegram, which even after the mentorship is done and you have questions about things that are going on, then you can then get answers to your questions. So you'll click right here on Credit Crushers Mentorship. It is $9.97 for 4 weeks. But I am doing for August, I'm doing a BOGO and I want to see how it goes because I really, really, really want y'all to bring a friend. So that means 2 people can sign up for $9.97. What if I don't have a friend to do it with? Well, then you one person signing up for $9.97 because I really want you to bring a buddy. I really want you to have an accountability partner. I really want you to bring a friend and y'all keep each other to task. Most of y'all I've never met before in my life. You don't know me, I don't know you. So when I say please do your homework, it means nothing to you. But if your best friend says, come on, girl, let's do our credit crushers and mentorship homework. Let's go ahead and look up the fees for the district in our court. Let's look up the statute of limitations, like Kim said, to do for our particular area. Let's look up and see if we're in one of the states where it's required that a debt collector have a license. Y'all don't even know these things, and y'all are in groups. Some of you are in groups trying to get free information, and you don't even know how the puzzles of the pieces, the pieces of the puzzle fit together. So you're trying to figure out how to fight a debt collector. It could be as simple as going to if you're in a state that requires a license, it could be as simple as looking up whether or not that debt collector has a license to even practice in your state. And if they don't, they shouldn't be contacting you, texting you, calling you, nothing in you. But they know that you don't know that. So they continue to violate your rights. And you consider to sit there and be like, I don't know what to do. It can be as simple as taking that screenshot, having that proof, and calling their bluff and say, you shouldn't be saying not nada to me. And then filing a suit if they don't, because they're breaking the law in your state. These are the things that we talk about in the credit crushers. And I'm telling y'all right now, there's a lot of consumer protection people out here. And every time you ask them a question, they give you motivation. You got to break generational curses. Your family is counting on you. They don't give you no information that you can actually use. They don't tell you nothing that you didn't already know. They just make you feel tingly and good. And you walk away and you sign up for their crap and you don't learn nothing. And then you come to me and say, Kim, I ain't got no money because I paid this other person and I didn't learn no money over there. Hey, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. So thank you for asking, Millie Jean. I'm telling you guys, go to this form, fill it out. Go to this form, fill it out if you want to do the credit crushers. Now, if you don't have the money, I can't do anything for you. But right here where where are your questions or concerns about your credit, I want you to put your questions. I want you to put your concerns. And then I want you to put the name of the friend and their email that you want to sign up with. This is like your buddy pass. So 2 for the price of 1. That means basically, if y'all split the cost, right? If you signed up with your friend, and I'm telling you right now, if it's under the age of 18, they don't count. So meaning if you're saying, well, I'll buy the Credit Crushers mentorship and I'll do it for me and my senior in high school, they don't count. Your husband doesn't count. 2 become 1, right? So your spouse is automatically included. They can be on the Zoom with you. Your child is automatically included. I would love for them to come on the Zoom with you. I'm not like that. I'm talking about a totally, like a cousin, a friend, a best friend, a co-worker, somebody like that. Y'all get this for $9.97. You get 4 weeks of me. It's a pretty extensive program, y'all. And you will have homework and things to do. And what's going to happen from there, y'all split the cost. That's $500 per person. It has not been this price since cycle 1, which was in February. It was $500 wave 1, and then wave 2 and 3 were $597, and wave 4 was $697. So this is the lowest price since I introduced it. And the program has gotten so much better than that, because do you have any idea how much I've learned in that amount of time? Now, somebody might ask, if I don't have my friend right now, can I give you the name of somebody later? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. But there are people in the current credit crusher that I told us about. He said, Kim, you sure about that? You sure you don't want to do $1,200 for 2? I said, no. Right now, people are really in hard times. And although that shouldn't affect my price, I have to be cognizant of the fact that this is where we're at. And the crazy thing is, y'all already paying for my course. Y'all are paying for my course every time your interest rate goes up on your credit card. You're paying for my course because you missed the credit card payment and you didn't have to. You know how I know you're paying for my course? Because in 48 hours, it's going to be the first of the month. Some of you guys are going to pay for your rent out of your checking account, because you don't know a way that I can show you to take that same amount of cash, get an installment loan, have it reporting on your credit as a positively paid trade account installment type for 2 to 3 years, even though you never make another payment except for the very first one at 85%. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that just proves my point. And you can still have time, your money in time for your rent. Turn your cash into credit. Start rebuilding your profile. This is what we talk about in the Credit Crushers. And I take you through step by step how I did it. Because I'm not talking theory, and I'm not just opening up 15 USCs and reading to you like Mother Goose. This is how I did it. And if you do not believe me, one thing I would love for y'all to do, you can definitely go to, again, hellokimilly.com. And then if you click where it says Credit Crushers, there's actually a tab there that should have my credit testimonials. And you can check out what other people have to say about me. And it's not just like, oh, Kim is so nice. Oh, I really like, she's funny. That's not a testimonial, y'all. Because I've seen somebody say, listen to my testimonials, and they're like, you can really tell they really have a heart for the people. That's not a testimonial. I want real testimonials, and I want more than what I have now. So yes, I want you to bring a friend. Y'all have asked me why I stopped doing the Credit Crushers, and quite frankly, it was because I thought that I had done enough and y'all could just take the course and go on your own. But that's not the case. I actually enjoyed being live with y'all. And I actually enjoyed the real-time interaction. I enjoyed you guys asking me questions right then and there and me giving you an answer right then and there. And I enjoyed knowing that you were getting the information you were paying for because I saw you on the Zoom in real time. Now I want more people. Each one teach one. Bring a friend. Bring a friend. Bring somebody that will hold you accountable to doing this stuff. You're going to learn about credit and consumer protection stuff. And you can come to my credit testimonials vault and read what people have had to say to me. Say about me. One of the most rewarding things was somebody who was a part of my pilot group with the Credit Crushers. She called me and said, Kim, I just closed on a house thanks to the information that you shared with me. And she told me before she told social media and other people, she said, I wanted you to know this first. And I was just like, wow. Wow. I don't even have a house yet, y'all. Various reasons. But I'm telling y'all, I'm serious about this. This economy is no joke. And if you are not equipped, they make income off of your ignorance. And I have spent thousands of dollars to learn this information. And I'm willing to give it to you for a fraction of the price. But you got to meet me halfway. You got to do your part. And I will give you everything I've got. If you don't believe me, come to the Credit Testimonial Vault and check out what other people have to say about me. And like I said, my goal right now is I want more results. Every course I do, I want people to walk away knowing the information that they did not know before and acting on it. Even with the dropped calls course, I got people, and one young lady, she has a disability, and I admire her so much. She's been following me for years. She never lets her disability hold her back. But she gave me a testimonial that she, just from seeing my lives, she made her her phone company pay for a dropped call, and she got a credit on her bill. And she was like, thank you so much, Kim. And I'm like, no, thank you for letting me know, because I don't know. And by the way, y'all, do me a favor. On this broadcast, if I've helped you and you've been meaning to give me a testimonial, but you never got around to doing it, please drop in the comments down below how I have helped you. And if you don't mind, say my name. Say my name. Say my name. Because people be stealing my testimonials from my comments. So please put Kimberly, or if you were in the Credit Crushers, put the Credit Crushers or something like that. And just to prove to y'all that I'm really, really about this life and helping people after the fact, let me show you something right quick. Let me open up the Telegram. Are there any questions so far? Any questions so far? Because we're about to end this. I said it wasn't going to be long, and here we are, like knocking at an hour. But I'm happy that y'all were here and tuned in. Does this make sense about what I'm saying about helping your kids? Y'all, our kids are brilliant. but we are not tapping into their brilliance. Get your children a brokerage account, a simulated brokerage account. Get your children involved with Canva. Get your children learning Go High Level. Get your children learning ClickFunnels. Like I said, Steve Larson went from being broke to becoming a master funnel designer with ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson's right-hand man, simply because he wore those free trials out. He didn't have no money. So let's stop using money as an excuse, because there are a lot of these programs. Your browser has blocked your screen. Hold on one second. Click the screen icon in your address bar. What? Let me see here. Can I share this screen? Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can share the Telegram. It doesn't look like I can. Let me try this other thing. Window. Oh. Let me see if I just bring this down and then go here. Bear with me, y'all. Okay, not that one. Okay, Telegram keeps close. Oh, update Telegram. Let me see if that helps. And then, because I want to show y'all, and it's Kiana, who's one of the credit crushers. She always has, she's done an interview that you guys can find on my channel and just shared her experience. And I'm telling y'all, it's easier. This stuff is really, really intimidating when it's new, and it's new to a lot of us. So it helps to have somebody who can plug into other resources. I can plug into my other groups. I can plug into my colleagues. I can plug into other people that I know and ask. I haven't been through every single situation that you've been through, but oftentimes I go way above and beyond from what other people are telling me who have taken other programs. Oftentimes I go way above and beyond what other people would do to get the answer for you, because I know how it is. We are so much stronger together, y'all. Please believe. Okay, let's see here. Failed to update Telegram. I don't know. I'm gonna try one more time to share this screen and see if I can get Telegram. Okay, it's not working, unfortunately. Let me see if I can open it up on the web browser. And that would be my last time trying. But yeah, I don't leave you hanging after the mentorship. I want to see you through and help you in any way I can. But a lot of times, because I went back to the credit crushers and like, hey, where y'all at? How can I help you? And life will life on your behind hard. So that's why the Telegram is still open for them. If they still have a question, they can still respond and say, hey, team, this is where I'm at. This is what's going on. Blase, blase, hoodoo, right? And a lot of courses do not do that. You only have, if you have access to the person who taught it, like with a course, you usually don't get any access. You're just on your own. With a mentorship, you may get access, but only during the time of the mentorship. I didn't do that. Now going forward, will I keep it that way? I don't know, because life can change and things can change. But as of right now, it doesn't matter whether you join me in wave 1, 2, 3, or 4. You still have access to me in the Telegram. You're not going to ask a question and I just be like, oh, well, you were wave 2. No, not at all. So that is that. Okay, Telegram is taking way too long to open up. So I will just let that be for now. But guys, again, I don't want you talking about these kids without talking about these parents, or looking at yourself and saying, what can I do? How many people in my friend circle, how many of us have expertise? If you're a lawyer and you have a friend who's a doctor, and you have a friend who's in finance, and you have a friend who's an investment banker, why don't all of y'all get together, and for all of your children and your children's friends, have a quarterly, a weekly, a monthly Zoom where you teach the kids, hey, here's how you get into my field. Hey guys, listen, y'all just graduated. This is the college the high school graduation webinar we're hosting. For all of y'all who just graduated, we want to let y'all know you're about to be inundated with a bunch of credit cards. We don't want y'all to get a $300 limit credit card that has a $100 annual fee that you're going to default in 6 months and mess up your credit for years to come. Here's why. Here's how they're going to get you. Here's how they got me. Are y'all doing that? Because you can do it with a free Zoom account. The biggest cost will be your time. But we have got to stop making these kids start where we started. Our parents ain't know nothing, but they didn't have the internet. We have the internet. You can virtually touch somebody from miles away. That's why I say, when y'all come in here, tell me where you're watching from, because I want to know how far is my reach using technology from little bitty Pooler, Georgia. I know that the majority of my channel watchers are people in Georgia, but guess what? The next level is people in New York. Shout out to my New Yorkers. I haven't been to New York since 2019, but I'm virtually touching people in New York. They make up a large part of my viewership. Shout out to my New Yorkers. That's what's up. So I want y'all to use technology for this same purpose. Who are you helping in your circle? What youth are you helping? And don't talk about these kids. Don't talk about them dancing TikTok when you've given them no other alternative. Don't do it. And the only way to get them to talk to you is you talk to them first. And then you shut up and you create a space, a safe space for them to talk to you when they want to. And if you do that enough times, I promise you they will. And that's the only way we're going to really break generational curses. If you think you're going to break generational curses just with your children alone, you got another thing coming, because your children are going to encounter the children of these other hooga boogers out here. And they could take your child out. So this is a community effort, in case you don't know. This is going to take a village. Don't look at another man's child. Don't look at another woman's child and say, well, at least it ain't my kid. Because guess what? Their path can cross the path of your child. Now you got a problem. Let your son get her daughter pregnant. Oh, baby, you got a problem. Let your daughter get hooked on drugs because of his son. Oh, baby, you got a problem. So now it is your son. Now it is your daughter, because you didn't care about your fellow sisters or brothers' child too. And yes, you can only do it with those who will allow you to do it. But I'm telling y'all right now, there's somebody somewhere in your circle whose child is sitting there and they have no clue what is going on. So they just entertaining themselves, passing the time, thinking they're going to be forever young. But we know better. We know better. And if you got nothing to give, then fix that. Do all the things I said that you should be telling these kids to do. You do that. Learn a new skill. Get a free trial for one of these apps. Learn something. Go on YouTube University and look up 50 million tutorials about how to do it. Don't come in my comments and say, Kim, do you know? No, I ain't got time to learn everything about everybody. But there's a handy dandy new thing called the Google. There's a handy dandy new thing called YouTube University. And you can look up anything and become proficient on it if you only dedicate yourself to doing it. You learn it and then you go teach it. All right, I'm done. Let me go. Thank y'all for participating, especially shout out to Lynn. Guys, if you want to support the channel, I'm not a big I'm not a big YouTuber who talks about things that are sexy. So my channel is monetized, but it's not that much money. For those of you who have ever given me a super sticker or a super chat and you put your money where your mouth is and you thank me for your time monetarily, if you can't do it, I totally understand. But for those of you who can and have, I appreciate it, and I encourage you to continue to do it. You guys help me to come back on, because this does take time. This does take research. This does take a good little bit. So I appreciate those who support the channel with donations. Yeah, you can donate to hellocamille.com. If you go there, there's a tip jar. Or you can, again, support the channel with a super sticker and a super chat if you're watching live. Y'all have a good night. Talk to you later. And if you want to be a part of the Credit Crushers, go on over to hellocamille.com, click courses and mentorships, click the Credit Crushers, but bring a friend. I want to have as much impact as possible. So help me do that, please. All right. Bye, y'all.